Alaikum, and welcome to Black Gods of Yahweh Media. Hallelujah, Yahweh. Praise YHWH. In the name of the Son, the mighty God, YHWH. Beit Nun Sofit, YHWH. Selah. We have some very important things to discuss in this video. There are three major steps, very dangerous and disturbing events on the horizon. This deals with the war in Ukraine, systematic attacks by so-called black people in major cities, and the Western media propaganda and mainstream deception. Now, those of you in the knowledge of Yahweh know full well that our Messiah, YHWH, Beit Nun Sofit YHWH, warned us about the rulers of this government taking away our civil liberties one day and placing the so-called Black American true Israel in concentration camps. But you just can't do that without creating a climate that those who you want to target to be a physical threat to America. Now, the information that I'm putting out is not set in stone, but it is delivered as a warning to you of what could happen in the near future. Phase 1, create an enemy, black identity extremists. They already have the word, all they need is the event. So what you're looking at here, you see, from the Brennan Center for Justice. The FBI targets a new generation of black activists. Now you can throw Black Lives Matter in there too. The media labels them as an extremist group, but we're going to focus on the identity extremist label. Once again, you know I'm not going to read the whole article, but you can go here, Brennan Center for Justice. You can Google this information. The FBI targets a new generation of black activists. I'm going to go down to 2007 because I want you to see how they identify this through the FBI. So here we are. By 2007, the FBI had invented a new domestic terrorism program category. It was called the Black Identity Extremism Movement. An FBI intelligence report cited 6 unrelated incidents over a 3-year period in which black subjects not associated with one another attacked police officers. Now, that's not associated with one another, but here you have them labeling a group or creating a name. Black subjects not associated with one another attacking police officers to allege that a terrorism movement driven by perceptions of police brutality against African Americans exists. So they've created this label. Once again, I'm not going to read all of it because I don't have time. They've created this label called Black Identity Extremists. Now, we're going to take a look at some events. We're going to start with the subway shooting that happened in New York. Everybody knows about it. It's been all over television. It's been all over the media. So you have Frank R. James, a suspect in the subway shooting. This individual was named to be a major suspect that happened recently. Now, you can go get this information yourself. You know what I'm talking about, but I'm giving you examples of what's going on. So let's go to this man here. New York man arrested in violent hate crime beating of an Asian woman. You can see this from ABC7news.com, and it's all over the internet. The point being, they're going to use these individuals who are committing these crimes, whether they are orchestrated, false flag events, or just downright criminals, to collectively demonize the whole of black society. Anybody remembers Grandmaster Jay? Let's look at Grandmaster Jay. Anybody remember him? He was allegedly revealed to be an agent provocateur. His purpose was to create a black armed militia group designed to target white people, and it failed. There is a wealth of evidence of this. See, they already got the name Black Identity Extremist. Like I said, though, Black Lives Matter in there too. The media has labeled them as an extremist group. So they have been creating these climates used either by orchestrated events or actual people to collectively label as a whole members of the black community as threats that possibly they're going to one day target under paramilitary groups or police forces or the National Guard, etc. Now let's move on to phase 2. American mainstream media deception about the people of Ukraine. What are their beliefs? What is their ideology? So here we're looking at Global Times. You can also pull this up. You can Google this information. Peace Corps advises black volunteers that they may be called the N-word by Ukrainian refugees. Wow. Look at that. It's all over the news too. This is why you do your research. You just don't listen to what's being said. Do the research yourself. If you are a black person and are thinking about volunteering to help people from Ukraine, be careful. MTO News learned that the Peace Corps websites explain that black people are likely to face pretty blatant and possible dangerous forms of racism from Ukrainian refugees. So these are refugees. And I'm going to get to the Nazi military group in a second. But these are refugees coming that they're talking about. It is not uncommon, see, I'm here in the middle, the website continues, for Ukrainians to refer to African Americans as the N-word. Volunteers of color may be called a monkey. Now, a lot of you heard this too if you have an ear to social media. So this is the Peace Corps warning people. We're not even talking about fighting forces yet. So let us go ahead and move to military forces of Ukraine. So here you have the Washington Post. Neo-Nazis are exploiting Russia's war in Ukraine for their own purposes. As you see, they're talking about here under the caption, Ukrainians, I'm going to pronounce it as it's spelled, Azov Battalion in Ukraine. Azov Battalion in Ukraine. Research this group. They are a neo-Nazi group. And you can go check this out from the Washington Post. So let's continue. Wikipedia, the Azov Battalion, the Azov Special Operations Detachment, also known as the Azov Regiment or Azov Battalion, until September 2014, is a neo-Nazi unit of the National Guard of Ukraine. They are actually fighting in the war. Azov formed as a volunteer paramilitary militia in May 2014 and has since been fighting Russian forces in the Donbass war, in the Donbass region. Its first saw combat recapturing I think that's Mariupol from Russian forces and pro-Russian separatists in June 2014. Mariupol, excuse me. It initially operated as a volunteer police company unit. It was formed and incorporated into the National Guard on 11 November 2014. And as you see here, the Azov Special Forces Unit, A30B, that's their logo. This is an actual military force in Ukraine. So I've given you two witnesses, as you see here, neo-Nazis warned by the Peace Corps, the Washington Post, and Wikipedia. This current administration, they are flying and busing in thousands of these Ukrainians into the U.S. with their neo-Nazi and anti-Black ideology, giving them millions of dollars and get a visa-free card to citizenship. It is without a doubt that these Ukrainians will be funneled right into the paramilitary police forces in major cities of America. That leads us into phase 3. So what do you think phase 3 is? What do you think phase 3 is? Foreseeing a near future that involves martial law and or a hype propaganda plot involving African Americans as a physical threat using foreign troops, such as these right-wing Nazi groups in America, to terrorize the children of Yahweh. Now, I want you to understand something, that this video that I'm putting out is a warning. Nothing is set in stone. Nothing is set in stone. The only man, the only God that controls all is YHWH. But it's important that I put this information out to you as a warning sign, because this could happen. Now, I know those of you who are not in the truth, who do not have knowledge of self, you're not going to get this anyway. You're going to blow this off. You're going to say, this guy is crazy. This guy is fear-mongering. He's a conspiracy theorist. But I have to give you an angle that you can understand. No one's talking about this in the mainstream media. It's up to the grassroots. It's up to us who fear Yahweh, who believe in his salvation, to warn you, regardless to what anybody else says. So I hope you would consider this video, understand the importance of it, keep it in the back of your mind, and keep your eyes open, because this may be a future coming near you. This is Black Gods of Yahweh Media. Once again, I want to say Shabbat Shalom Aleichem until the next video.